Hello readers, and welcome to another episode of For Your Information. In this episode, let's talk about gas. Now, as a commodity to run our engines, it's oil, and it's expensive, and it doesn't seem to be letting up. Well, I'd like to share something with you. To an article by Micheal M. which is April 25th, 2006. Yes, the year that we elected a Democrat majority into the House of Representatives, the people who control taxes and whatnot. Okay. In this article, he mentions, just to point out, the president's job does not include keeping prices low for anything. Okay. He mentions that, he says that it's for people who are not conservative or, go with their sheep, or the numerous sheeple. Okay, let me mention this fact. If gas, and these are according to his article, he mentions if gasoline had kept pace with wages since 1920, it'd be about $10 a gallon. Here's another fact. Gas tax, and this is an average more than 60 cents per gallon. Partially due to environmental concerns, no refineries have been built in the United States in 30 years. Gasoline prices increase every spring because of government mandates to reformulate the fuel so that emissions are reduced. Emerging economies around the world, like China, are now competing with the U.S. for petroleum. And that's stimulating big price jumps. The law of supply and demand. But how do we, and so, as he suggested, public anger and liberal politicians, of course, blame the oil companies. Calls for taxing those supposed obscene oil profits may have some populist appeal but don't withstand scrutiny. And so, the catch is the cost of doing business, as he says. But, as we all know, taxes ultimately will affect, it's the consumer ultimately who pays the cost. So, what do you do? Well, what has he suggested? His suggestion, and this is still his article, one modest suggestion isn't original. It's to sharply cut the taxes we pay on each gallon of gas. Wouldn't it take long years to implement or require the cooperation of foreign countries? The impact would be felt almost immediately. And then he points out the obvious. At the federal level, Congress would have less money to devote to the pork barrel projects it so loves. State legislatures would have to, at long last, get serious about spending within their means. Motorists deserve and need that money more than the politicians do. So now, it's April 2nd, 2008, 23 days from 2 years since he wrote the article, and the Democratic majority that America voted, that the American voter put into office, has done nothing. And as I state, it's simply right there. All you have to do is allow some refineries to be built and cut the gas tax. But, yes, but that's less earmarked money that the Democrats could have. You know? But think about this when you're thinking about a candidate to vote for. Okay? This is very important. Think for yourselves. I just put out the facts there. I put out the facts and I tell you my opinion. And it's up to you to think. But for now, I will say farewell for the moment.